On this episode of Talk Your Exposure, we're joined by Gerald Cannon, who is the owner of Ballers Bridge. Gerald Cannon has been through a lot of basketball trials and tribulations during his university career. While he was also with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he's a part of that championship 2016 2017 team when LeBron James came and Kyrie Irving and all those guys came back from a 3-1 deficit. Tune into this week's episode with Gerald Cannon, as this is not an episode to miss out on. He's dropped a lot of gems, and we're excited to share them all with you guys. Again, tune into this week's episode with Gerald Cannon of Ballers Bridge. Welcome to another edition of Talk Your Exposure. Today we got a special one, but before we get into our guests, I want to remind everybody to tune in to us under Talk Your Exposure on Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. As well, if you want to see our handsome faces, you're more than welcome to check us out on Talk Your Exposure on YouTube under RWI Basketball. But today's guest is a special one, like I mentioned before. But before we get to that, Chris, man, what's going on with that peanut head of yours?
You know what? I've been seeing your head for a while, so I had to show you how it's done.
You had to show me how it's done. Oh, man, I don't know about that.
You came bald-headed. I'm like, yo, you got to do a real bald head. This is like, look, we all got all the shines going, everything. This is real bald.
I see the shininess. You got a Mr. Clean going to you today, man. But again, Chris, welcome back to the show, man. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you with us and have you co-hosting our show, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. It's a little cold outside, but you know, we keep it warm in here. It's always heated between me and you, Steven. So that's one thing I like.
He's rolling today. He's rolling.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. But our guest today is a special one, man. You know, someone that's been through the basketball world for quite some time, which we're going to dive into in a little bit. We got Gerald Cannon in the building. How are you feeling today, my man?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Appreciate you guys having me on, man. Excited.
Hey, we appreciate you giving us some time to talk to us today. You know, I gotta ask you though, Gerald. We got a little game. Well, quick question first, and then we got a little game for you. But I want to know, if you were in a movie, who is someone that you would want to play as yourself?
If I was in a movie, you saying who would I want to play me?
Sorry. Let me rephrase that. If you had a documentary based on your life, let's say you had a movie based on your life, Gerald Cannon. The documentary, The Life of Gerald Cannon. Who is one actor that you would want to play as you in that movie?
Man, I'm gonna go with the young Ray Allen, the Jesus Shuttlesworth Ray Allen.
Ooh, white man can't jump?
No. He got game.
He got game. Wow. Sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Ray Allen was in White Man Can't Jump. That's really awkward. But anyways, I'm gonna edit that part out.
Nah, you gotta leave it.
I gotta leave all the bloopers too. Bloopers of 2022, man. Bloopers of 2022. But you know, Gerald, I want to ask you, get into our game a little bit. We have a game called Would You Rather. Just a couple quick questions for you. Would you rather watch a game at home or in the stadium?
At the house.
Why is that?
Just chill. Really be able to watch the game. I feel like when you go to the game, you know, it's so many other things that's going on that you're looking at that you don't get to see, you know, what's actually happened within the game. So now I think present day, I like to just be at the house, man, watching the game and be able to enjoy it and be able to sit back and be comfortable and do it like that.
No, for sure. I actually like that one because even down here in Toronto, there's way too many COVID protocols, way too many things happening right now, even to go watch rappers and everything. So as much as I love watching them live in person, sometimes it's better to be at home, kick up, and have a nice cold beer in my hand. Free, not $20 of a cold beer either. It's a free beer.
Exactly. With the mask on.
There you go. With the mask on. Exactly. If you had one meal option, would you rather have breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast all day, man. Breakfast. Gotta go breakfast. Breakfast, you can do it morning, you can do it afternoon, you can do it dinner. After the club, you can do it whenever. It's always a good time for some breakfast, especially down here with the Waffle House, man. 24 hours, you can always get you a good Waffle House play.
Okay. So I got a question for you then. With that being said, would you rather Waffle House or IHOP?
No, Waffle House all day. It's not even close. All-star special, man. I don't even have to see the menu. Just take me there. We good. I already know what I want.
Wow. Yeah, but so I'm like, they know you. You walk in, they're like, oh, get his order.
It's always a
There you
good
go.
time for some Waffle House, man. And you never know what you're gonna see when you go. So
You know, not everybody likes cleaning, but would you rather clean your car or clean your place?
that's a good one right there. Let's say clean the place.
One last one for you before we move on. Before we move on off our game, would you rather play for Coach Roy Williams at UNC or Coach K at Duke?
This year, maybe Coach K, since it's his last year, I feel like that'll be a classic, a classic go. But if it's not his last year, then I'm gonna have to go UNC. All the Jordan gear, it just seemed like the spot to be. The GOAT played there. I think I'm gonna have to go UNC. Duke seems kind of buttoned up for me, maybe a little too buttoned up for me.
Oh man,
You touch your feelings.
we have a non-Dookie in the building. Okay.
I love Duke. All respect.
I'm a Duke fan. Like I'm born April 7th, 1992. My mom went into labor on the 6th of April, 1992. If everyone remembers that time is when Christian Laettner got the game-winning shot against Kentucky, had to hit the fadeaway, or whatever you want to call it, turnaround jumper, to put us in the final. So I've been a Duke. I've been born into a Duke family by default.
All respect for Duke and what they have going there.
Shout out Coach K. Gerald, I do want to ask you though, real quick. During this pandemic, it's been very tough on a lot of kids in general. Being able to try to be able to maintain, with basketball, with AAU, or with scholarships, even with kids that are in the NCAA right now. What are some things that you would like to tell some kids, to keep them encouraged and keep them motivated through a pandemic, and also just be unsure?
Yeah, I think right now, man, if you're here and you're able to just be healthy, be able to play the game, I think if anything else, the last 2 years just taught us, man, that's a blessing in itself, just to be able to walk in the gym and be able to hoop. I think kids didn't really understand, or any of us, because we've never been through it, what that felt like to not be able to leave a house and not be able to go to a gym and just pick up a ball when you wanted to. So I think just first of all, man, being thankful, and then just take advantage. I think the opportunities that are out there, and everything that's going on, every day is different, and that's around the world. So I think if you have a chance to play in a game, especially a meaningful game, take full advantage of it. Just go as hard as you can go, because in present day, man, somebody's watching. It's being recorded, and don't take advantage of that opportunity, man. Too many people who want it for you to slack off.
No, for sure. And I'm with you on that one. You obviously played NCAA basketball, but I'm curious to know your thoughts on the transfer portal.
The transfer portal is kind of crazy right now. I think it's, especially in the last couple of years, it's just taken off. I think it is what it is. I think that we have to figure out how to navigate, the changing landscape of basketball. I think the willingness to just pick up and bounce is just something that we have to deal with players are doing. They have a lot of options right now. So we just have to figure it out. I think players need to do a better job of, choosing the schools. It's not D1 or bust. And I think coaches need to do a better job, and scouts, of recruiting, pretty much. Like getting the right players for your program, not settling just for the players that are, close in proximity or only who you've seen. There's too many resources that are out there to be able to find the right fit. And I think us as, on this side with media and scouting, we need to do our jobs, our due diligence, really finding the talent and making sure that those two parties come together. So I think we can all do better.
You use a key word in your answer just now. You use the word change. And obviously there's been a lot of changes within NCAA these past couple of years throughout the pandemic, throughout COVID, transfer portal being one of them. But now students are able to sign contracts to get paid, to be a paid student athlete. How do you feel about that, knowing that you didn't have the same opportunity, during your time in NCAA?
I'm excited about it. I think that, when I was hooping, being able to go and work a job or internship just wasn't available. You know, we were hoopers all day, every day, you know, around the clock. So in college, just being able to go work on, you know, an internship on Wall Street or wherever people, you know, were going at our school to go get these big time internships, that just wasn't something that was realistic for us. It was, you know, get better. This is my time to get better and to hone my skill so I could be prepared for next season. In doing that, how do I eat? How do I put gas in my car? How do I pay rent? How do I take my girlfriend out for dinner? What do I do? You know, how do I help my family out who might need to keep the lights on without any extra money? And that just wasn't available. So I'm excited for players. I'm excited for the opportunities that are out there. I think we just have to be smart. It's a new landscape, and being able to understand what's the best fit and not be taken advantage of, because we know in basketball, man, everybody's trying to eat. So you just got to really be smart about how you move and who you work with.
There's one word again that you use over there, and then after this, you know, it's all onto Chris's peanut head. But you know, you use the word over there, safe. And you know, during this time when people were in NCAA back in the day, you know, even Chris Webber was talking about, and like you just mentioned right now, how can I provide for my family? How can I provide for myself? How can I buy a meal, whatever case might be? Chris Webber mentioned that even when he was playing at Michigan, he didn't even have enough money to buy a slice of pizza. But the word that you use again is safe. When 18-year-olds are making $1 million or $2 million or whatever they're making, aka a Styles P's son, he's making $1 million at the school he's at right now. How can we keep our student athletes safe, knowing that they're being announced that they're getting these NILs and still making money for quite a big amount of money as well?
Yeah, I think educating them. I think putting them in the right programs and educating them in ways that we weren't educated when I was coming up, about financial literacy, about responsible investments, about being an entrepreneur, about being a boss, about investing, about crypto, about everything. You know, I think if we can take them and say, hey, you've been given this amount of money to work with XYZ company or companies, this is how you should handle those business relationships, and this is how you should handle your money. And it be people that they trust, that, you know, they know that the programs that they're attending are reputable. And just think now, if we're giving an 18-year-old $1 million, then, and they start investing that $1 million at 18, when they get to be 40, 50 years old, I mean, that's something that will affect their whole life, you know, not just their life, but everyone else that's coming behind them. And I think that's special, man. That's something that we've never heard of or never seen before. And I think it will affect generations of people, not just that kid, but so many other people behind them, especially if it's done the right way. I think we've all seen the 30 for 30s, the Brokes, and, you know, how players have wasted it. It's a story that's been told a million times. We've done that. How do we now change that and point these players, these kids in the right direction?
Hey, Gerald, man, I appreciate, you know, your answers, and definitely, I'm actually kind of mad that I had to leave kind of early. But again, so Gerald, thank you very much for it, and I hopefully you and I can connect down the line again one time soon.
So Gerald, honestly, it's been really cool looking stuff up about you. And I'm gonna go back to a little bit of history, because a lot of times the whole part of this platform is give people a little deeper insight about what people are doing in the basketball community. And like, as I looked, like, you started playing basketball probably like late high schools, and the latter part of high school you started playing basketball, and you stand with 6'8", around that, is that 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'9", we up there.
Ooh, 6'9", playing that forward center position.
Yeah.
And when you're leaving out, when you left high school, I guess you have options, but you ended up at Morehouse. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I think for myself and for a lot of players, going through that recruiting process is one of the most difficult things. I think I hit on it a little bit earlier. When I was in high school, I think it was worse than it is today. You know, as far as, you know, it's got to be D1. Everything is D1. If you don't go D1, then you're not that good, or, you know, that's going to be terrible experience. And I had that mindset myself, you know, so I'm like, you know, D1 is everything. But growing up in Atlanta, you know, you hear so much about Morehouse College, the prestige that goes along with the school, and just everything. You know, you're very knowledgeable about it. So Morehouse was always around. I did a tutoring program. My mom took me to Morehouse really early on to kind of help steer me in the right direction. when I couldn't get it right in school. So I was knowledgeable about Morehouse, and around that time is when the Olympics was happening. And that's where they played at the arena, was at Morehouse. So just seeing those things was like kind of special, because so it kind of stuck with me. So when it came to the decision, my mom was really big on Morehouse. You know, I was looking at the D1 schools, but she was really big on go to Morehouse. And it ended up being the best decision that I ever made. I was able to stay close to home and help out the family and look out for my fam, but also have an incredible experience at a HBCU, and being able to, you know, be in Atlanta, bro. It's nothing like
Yeah, I keep hearing it all the time, man. Like I hear it all the time.
yeah,
And
it's nothing like it.
yo, and Morehouse has a rich history. Like, so what was like being on campus? What was like the black experience like being on campus?
It was awesome, man. It really wasn't that, you know, groundbreaking for me. Again, being from the east side of Atlanta, and just how I grew up. That's pretty much how we grew up. Was, you know, everything was Black. Our neighborhood was Black. Our grocery stores were Black. Our everything, you know. So it wasn't like a huge culture shock. But the brotherhood, I think, along with that, you know, was something that was not what I was expecting, you know, because I was going there to hoop. I wanted to learn. I wanted to get the education, but I wanted to hoop, man. I just wanted to play ball. But kind of seeing that experience, and it not just being from Morehouse, but with Clark right there, with Spelman across the street. And at that time, Morris Brown was still up too. So now you're getting, you know, a huge just melting pot of not just Morehouse, but so many different schools, so many different people. And we're all right there in the mix together. Man, it was just special, bro. It's hard to explain, you know.
That's cool,
I hate the Wakanda, but I love the Wakanda at the same time. That's
I hear you.
know.
That's a good, I like that analogy. It's a good way.
Yeah. When they're walking around the market, when you see them walking around the market, that's kind of how it felt, bro. You know, walking around the schools, and that energy is just different, man. I encourage anybody to, especially if you're a young hooper and looking at schools, man, take a look at the AUC, man. Look at the schools and look at what's down there. I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah, no, I like Atlanta a lot, man. I'm due to go back. I love that place. First time going there, I was like, whoa, this is like, wow. Like, he's like, are you going to shop? Okay. You go to the bank? Okay. Like, it was just like, wow.
As soon as you touch down, you feel it in the airport, you know, and
Yeah.
then once you get out the airport, man, it continues on. So it's a unique experience for sure.
Definitely a good experience. If anyone has not gone to Atlanta, you gotta figure it out. You gotta go check it out. So
tap in with us, man. Shoot me a DM. Tap in with me.
there you go. See, I like that. You got people out here. While you're at Morehouse, you study business, right?
Yeah.
And you playing basketball, you studying business. Like, did you work on campus, off campus? Were you able to do that?
No, not really, man. I you know, again, trying to just pick up whatever I could. If there were some, I worked at Foot Locker for a bit. You know, you got to work at the Foot Locker. You got to, if you're going to try to keep the shoe, kick game got to be strong. And to do that, you know, you need that discount. So I did Foot Locker for a minute. And just, you know, again, just always work. I've been working my whole life, man. So just, you know, a little off and on things. But again, nothing like a big time internship that could set me up for a big time position once I graduated, because it just wasn't possible. I couldn't go somewhere and be gone and spend around the clock working an internship and really giving my all when I needed to be in that gym, man, and really focusing and trying to get better and not lose my spot that next year. So that was where the majority of my time was put in while I was there.
Okay, that makes sense. So what was your most memorable time playing, what was your most memorable moment playing at Morehouse?
Most memorable moment, I'd say it had to be winning, you know, we won our conference, won the conference championship. That was big for us. And then I think the rivalry games, man, that Morehouse Clark game, man, that, you know, again, something you just have to be there for. You know, to go into a gym that's sold out, all your brothers, everybody from around the city, you know, it's no telling who will walk in that gym. It's just a crazy experience. So that's definitely up there too, as well.
Okay, I like that. So you left Morehouse. You decided to play professional overseas, or just to go professional. Did you acquire an agent to help you through that process?
Yeah, I was kind of really unaware to the process on going overseas. I think that's one area where it could be helpful. I'm not sure how it is at other programs, but I think when we talk about Division II, in any program where they're not setting players up and really creating a pipeline that helps you kind of make that transition, whether it's meeting agents or understanding what's the difference between going to Europe versus going to Asia versus going to South America.
Yeah.
I think those are areas where people can man, a lot of work needs to be done. Let's just leave it at that. But I did end up getting an agent a little bit later on. But my first job, no, I had another guy who was on my team who had played in Japan. He told me Japan was a good spot to go. He had a team. It was kind of a club, more like a club team that was looking for a player. And I didn't know anything about the person who ran the team. I didn't know anything about the team. I didn't know anything about Japan. So a week or two after graduation, man, I hopped on a plane, flew to Nagoya, man, and started my professional career there with just trying to understand now what does it mean to be a pro and be a pro playing overseas. And it was another crazy experience, bro. Now that was a culture shock.
I was about to say that must be a culture shock. Especially,
that's when the culture shock kicked in, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, okay, so that's basically so that was your first option going to Japan. Like, do you have any other options? Because like you're like 6'9" from the States, like like, and you're going over. You're most times if you're 6'9" going to States, they're thinking you're a forward, you're a center. They're gonna want you. Any other options, or you just Japan was a referral, so you went that way first?
Yeah, you would think that, but again, I think that's where Division II kind of separates, because I think again, these are some of the areas where what we're doing with Ballers Bridge is trying to help, whether the players Division II or wherever they are. Is a couple of things that if any player is listening to this, man, you have to know is that when you finish college, college is a business, and pro is just a whole nother level of business. You have to have your film together. So that was one thing I didn't have when I went to the school to try to get my film, to try to get an agent to take me serious, because I did have a couple that were reaching out to me, but I didn't have any film. They weren't filming our games like that at that time, and it wasn't like it is today, where film is just everywhere and readily available in social media. So I didn't have film where I could show what kind of player I was. And then again, I think at that time, and maybe still today, Division II, just doesn't have the reputation of a Division I program. So there's not people just knocking at your door to come play. Even if you are 6'9", you have to be able to show what you can do. So my thing was, to take this route where I might not be making a ton of money, but I'll at least be able to put some film together, get my name out there, and then I can kind of build up from there. So that was my thought process behind it.
I'm going to come back to this in a second, because now you got me thinking how this whole business came about. But before I get into it, you played professional basketball for a couple of clubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So during all those clubs you're playing for, you had to adjust for the food, like the language, different cultures. How was that process, like adjusting all the time?
It's very difficult. I think when you look at players that are making the jump, especially high school guys that are making the jump overseas, and that's kind of dwindled down a little bit now because of the other options that are available. I always thought to myself, like, man, that's going to be difficult. If you're going to Australia, I don't care where you're going. If you need a passport to go, it would be hard to go anywhere, but especially on the other side of the world. So it was very difficult, man. A lot of isolation. Again, there was no social media at the time. So it was email. There was no readily available internet. It was more internet cafes that you had to go to. It was just a whole different world. So the adjustment period coming out of college, where all my friends and everybody, we kicking it all the time, to just pretty much isolation, and all my teammates, none of my teammates spoke English. The only person that really understood was my coach, and he had broken English. So it was just like, man, it's a lot of downtime, a lot of time to think. And man, you really have to be mentally tough to be able to do it. And I think that if you can get over it, then there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of things to be had. But it's definitely going to be a challenge, to say the least, for anybody.
I like that you talked about the mental toughness. A lot of times we don't think about how mentally tough you got to be. We think mental tough is just being on the court, but it's not just being mentally tough on the court. It can be also off the court, and being in surroundings that you're not comfortable with, and keeping your mind focused and steady on your goals. So you're right. I'm glad you pointed that out as well. But
Absolutely.
out of all those places that you played, like, what was your favorite place to play at?
Favorite place to play at is that's a tough question, bro.
Tough. So it's different cultures, different languages.
It depends. I mean, is it the hoop? Is it the food? Is it
Yeah, like,
the teammates? I have to say Japan. I played in Japan. I had an opportunity to play in Japan twice. Japan is the first time I saw my name on the back of a pro jersey, which was a big goal for me. Was to be able to, see your name on that jersey, man, and be able to run out there in a full crowd. And that's where I had that experience. And I think the people there, just how they treated us and the experience, my mom was able to come and visit, bringing people over and showing them, it was just like a mind-blowing experience. So I'm gonna have to say Japan, but I had some pretty cool spots that I was able to visit and, man, see the world and still keep in contact with a lot of people to this day.
that's beautiful. I like that. So you stopped playing overseas and you decided to come back to the States. Why? What happened?
Yeah, I think for any athlete, I think you have that time where if you're not having that fun, where it's not fun for you, even if you are being paid for it, I think that's one side of it. And then two, I think your body, you have to listen to your body. Luckily, I never went through any serious injury. So that was another thing. And then lastly, I think playing internationally, man, it's difficult, where you don't really know where you're going to go. You don't know when you're going to leave. You're kind of just sitting on standby a lot of times. And it's cutthroat in a lot of ways too. And my last place where I was playing was Mexico. And Mexico is a whole different monster, when you talk about playing and, again, how cutthroat it is, where there could be a guy sitting in the stands, your replacement, if you don't drop 20 that game.
Yo, it's like you're looking up like, damn.
He's sitting there like,
He's like, come on, man.
You don't look good today. I heard him coughing. I heard he was feeling a little sick today. And he's coming super hungry, and you're just trying to hoop and stay focused. Again, mental toughness. You hit on it. But long story short, man, I was supposed to go to Saudi and play my last time. And, they were having a lot of issues in the Middle East. And I was already battling, like, do I want to go? Is that a good opportunity or not? And my coach ended up calling me and was like, hey, these issues that are going on are too big for us to feel safe to bring you over. And I think I just kind of took that as a sign, like, okay, maybe this is time for me to make the transition out of this and to move on. So that's kind of how it happened. But I walked away not having any regrets, not having anything where it's like, man, I wish I could have accomplished this or that. And I think that was another goal for me was to be able to walk away and be happy with what I had done.
That's actually a very important goal. I'm glad you mentioned that. I hope everyone who's listening hears that. A lot of times when you leave the process, you want to make sure that you kind of felt like you gave it your all. You did everything, you left everything on the table. In our case, left it on the court. And so, I'm good. I'm satisfied. I'm not going to have any regrets or think, oh man, I should have did that, or I should have pushed myself. Like, you did it. It's done. We're moving on. What's the next chapter? And I think that's good that you said that.
Absolutely. You'll never see me in the LA Fitness, man, with my jersey on.
You're like that Japan jersey.
Trying to go for 30, talking trash. It's just not going to happen. You just won't ever see it. So no offense to whoever's out there who's
no.
tying their shoes right now, but that ain't me.
That ain't you. Oh, I like that, man. Well, listen, I'm going to skip a little thing. I'm going to jump into something that caught my eye. Like, you got a position at Cleveland Cavaliers as a client experience specialist. Explain that role for people who don't understand that role. I'm going to go into it.
Yeah, again, I don't want to go too much because I understand, just timing and not trying to overtalk. But I think some of these things are important. Is when you come out of that, that world where you were playing in college and you're playing overseas, and now you're looking at 10 plus years, where you've just been hooping and that's all you've been doing. The toughest thing to do is to transition out, to go back into the real world, find a job. And that was one of the hardest things that I found, because my resume, all it had was hoop teams, you know, and teams that were overseas, and just coaches for you to call for for work referrals. But I had no experience actually working, unless it was like, you know, again, small jobs or something here and there. So I had an opportunity to go almost to a combine. It was called a sports sales combine, where they had different NBA teams, sports teams come in, and they would look at, you know, they would host it. They hosted it in Atlanta, where they brought people in, you could pay to go. And then they would kind of pick from that group where, you know, if you could work with the Hawks, or you could work with the Bobcats at the time, the Hornets, or, well, you know, different teams were there. And I was offered a position with Cleveland, man. I had never really spent any significant time in Cleveland. I didn't know much about Cleveland, but I knew LeBron was there.
Yeah. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to hear.
I knew they had LeBron, you know? And again, I think when you play overseas, you're never, you know, you lose that fear of picking up and moving, and going to new places. So if you can go to Japan or Romania, shout out my guy Dwayne, my guy Bert, and any of those places, you can definitely go to Cleveland. So I went to Cleveland and worked with the Cavs for 2 years, and man, it was another just great experience being able to, you know, watch LeBron and watch what they had built. They were #1 team in the NBA at the time, and man, incredible experience for sure. And that's why, again, when they asked the question of watch the game at the arena versus watch it at the house, man, I seen it, you know.
You know what that feels like.
I stay at the house, man.
The house. I got my own. I can work at my own pace.
I've seen, got a chance. Was blessed to see a lot. So it's you know, I'm good now.
You know, when I think back to that time in Cleveland, when I received there, that was probably, man, that was one or two. That was probably LeBron's best years. Like, you were there for LeBron's. Like, that year was crazy for LeBron. Like, he was just doing. He was a monster on stats, or #1, but just what he was doing on the court, his charisma, how he got the team going, like, that's just crazy. And
quick LeBron story. Can I drop a quick LeBron?
Yeah, please. Yeah, of course.
Quick LeBron story. So when you work with the team, man, you get to, obviously, everybody always talks about going in and getting there early to watch warm-ups. You know, people run into the arena to watch Steph and them do their warm-ups. So when you work with the team, you're there all day. You know, our offices were in the arena, so you get to see the workouts before the people come in. So you're sitting there. I go every time, every game. I'm in there just watching LeBron warm up. And one time, man, he was at, like, I want to say like half. He threw it off the Jumbotron. Off the Jumbotron, bro.
What?
The top of the arena, threw the ball off the Jumbotron. The ball bounces. He jumps off the ground when it comes down, off the bounce, and just.
Are you seriously?
So, bro, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
crazy.
Off the Jumbotron.
Off the Jumbotron, bro. Perfect pass, just one and done. It's just like he was just doing stupid stuff that, you know, you just be like, man, that dude is way different than anything I ever seen. And that's not even the end game. The end game stuff was crazy, you know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those 2 years, like, I think the year before, those 2 years when he got the MVP back and back, but especially that year, LeBron was just doing some stuff. Like,
it's just ridiculous. But we missed what would have been, I think, the best finals. We missed that Kobe versus LeBron.
Yes.
We missed it, man. Orlando, Dwight Howard, they blew the whole thing up, man. I think it was so much hype for the LeBron versus Kobe.
Yeah, I know, you're right, yo. That would have been a crazy. Like, I think personally, we still have been talking about that. That's because I'm a Kobe. I love Kobe. I'm a Kobe guy.
Me too. Me too.
So it would be nice to see that Kobe LeBron type of matchup, especially they're still active, they're still, but like, just to see that matchup, and they're both so competitive. I just imagine the things they would have pulled out. I know Kobe would pull some more tricks, but I just imagine what that would have been like. It would be crazy.
A classic. Every game was going to be a classic. It was going to be an amazing finals, and everybody knew it. The NBA was preparing for it. They had the Kobe doll and the LeBron doll. They were ready.
It was ready. People, manufacturers are mad. so many manufacturers are mad. They're like, oh, I wasted this time, this
We
money.
all were sick. Everyone was sick.
Well, let's go into some. So what inspired you to start your own company?
I think, again, kind of, I'll never forget going and trying to get my film, man, to be able to have that opportunity to go play pro and being told that they didn't have it. It was sickening, you know, because it's just like, man, I've been here 4 years. I put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of plays. Where is my film, man? You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for them to not have it was just sickening, man. And it really stuck with me. And then going to Japan and seeing how much attention was put to film, you know, where we would every game, every practice, we would watch film. It was just so much attention on film, and I just learned so much from them about how valuable film was, whether it's you studying players to improve your own skill set, to study your opponents, to pick up, you know, like little things that teams do. It really stuck with me there as well. So just kind of watching technology improve over those years and, you know, YouTube and different things come about, I said, man, this could be easier for players where every player could have their film and every player would be able to have their, you know, video resume to be able to move, whether it's in high school, college, or pro, way more easy than it is now. So that's where Baldur's Bridge came from.
I like that, man. Did you have any other concepts before you decided to work on, AKA, well, work on the name? Well, we're talking about Baldur's Bridge, but did you have any other concepts before this, before going full fledged into Baldur's Bridge?
Concepts and setup, you mean in like in a different kind of business?
Yeah, different type of business. Like you were kind of, you know, like you're thinking about this, the media stuff, but then you're like, you know, there might be this aspect I should look at as well. Like, was there any other thing that you're, any other opportunities that you thought they should explore besides this one?
Yeah, I was a businessman before a hooper, man. So I think just always thinking about business. You know, what kind of opportunities are there, what can be set up to be able to generate revenue and put something that'll always be, you know, around after I'm gone. So yeah, but I think again, a lot of my life has been in sports and been around sports, specifically basketball. And that's just what resonated with me, man. That's what touched my heart. That's what I felt like I could really put in place to make, you know, what's coming for players that are after me, make their situation a lot easier. So Baldur's Bridge was always Baldur's Bridge, to be honest.
I like that. You know, not everyone's able to take their passion and love and turn into a business, right? So, you know, and this is one of the things I like about this opportunity, that we could take someone who's played sports and find a passion and love and just tweaked it, and now they got a business out of it, of something they still love and be around. You know, I looked up, you got some co-founders. How'd you meet those guys?
Yeah, you know, I think with again with Baldur's Bridge and anybody, again, entrepreneur conversation, man, when you're starting a business, you're gonna work with so many different people, you know, and I've had an opportunity to work with, whether it's people that I started the business with or with people that I think now, again, with kind of the gig economy and where things are, with being able to work with someone that's in Phoenix or work with someone that's in the Bay Area, and you might have never met that person in person, but you're able to see their work on social media, online, and be able to say like, hey, this person might be a good person, and be able to connect them with, you know, a job there. So all of it has been organic, just people that I've met, you know, in sports, through school, you know, et cetera. And we've been able to continue to build on. So just countless people that I've been able to work with while, you know, building up Baldur's Bridge, for sure.
Okay. You know, I think about this sometimes because, you know, there's a Bay experience and the Atlantic experience. So your headquarters was first in San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
And then Atlanta. What's the change? Why'd you make that change?
Yeah, so I started in Atlanta, again, being home and wanting to build the company here. But at the time, Atlanta, just I think from a tech perspective, wasn't where I wanted it to be. And then I think for funding, I think, again, when you talk about building a company, starting a company, especially a tech company, you're going to hear people talk about venture capital, VC, and being able to raise a significant amount of money so you can build that company the right way. At that time, Atlanta just wasn't where I wanted it to be, and I wasn't getting the kind of results that I felt. And every time I asked somebody about feedback or guidance, they always talked about Silicon Valley and being in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley this and that. I didn't know anything about the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, any of that. But luckily enough, we were able to get accepted into a accelerator program out at Stanford. And once we got the acceptance, man, I just dropped everything and moved out to the Bay Area. And it was a crash course for me into Silicon Valley and just kind of understanding how Silicon Valley came about, what is venture capital, what is seed funding, what is, everything that goes along with it. And it was a blessing to be out there. So I spent 10 years out there and raised money and was able to learn again, building a tech company. And then I just had that, it's time to go home. It's time to be back in Atlanta and be able to take what I've learned here and be able to apply it to my home city. And I'm excited to be back.
I like that. Okay. So, I'm gonna make sure. I believe that Ballers Bridge inception was the 2011. Am I right?
Yeah, 2012.
2012. Okay, so 2012. So you basically 10. It's like 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yo, 10 years in the game. Damn.
10 in the game.
Yo, listen. If no one said it yet, congratulations for 10 years. Like, wait,
Thank
10 years will be officially what? June or May?
June.
Oh, yeah, that's it. So officially, so I'll count a little early, but
we there though. We there. We gonna claim it.
We're gonna claim it. Congratulations for the 10 years of being in the business to providing the services. During the time you're doing this, you provide a lot of service for a lot of basketball players. What has been the biggest hurdles in doing this?
Ooh, so many hurdles.
One or two, Chris?
So many hurdles. I think again, man, entrepreneurship is hard. Starting a business is hard. I think there are going to be all kind of challenges. Again, just speaking from my own experience, I think we can't shy away from it or try to ignore it. I think being a Black guy, a Black entrepreneur, again, when we talk about raising money, when we talk about scaling a company, the challenges are different, man. It's just what it is, and that's just not me saying that in my own experience, but, the data says it as well. It's going to be different for you. And, I think you got to go back to that mental toughness. I think you have to go back to that resiliency and go to, being passionate about what you're doing. Because if you're not, man, you're going to give up, you're not going to make it. And then I think too, along that line too, is just being able to balance, life things that happen along with building a company. You think about all the things that can happen in 10 years, whether it be you directly or your family, your friends. Man, there's all kind of challenges that come with that, and being able to kind of keep the ship, right the ship, when those turbulent times come, man, it ain't easy, bro.
Definitely ain't easy. It definitely ain't easy.
It ain't easy. I'm sure you can relate.
I like the way you answered that. You answered that in a way where I was like, all right, he had some hurdles.
It still have hurdles, every day. So, but that's part of it. That's the same with being a hooper. Every day is not going to be a great day in the gym. And how do you bounce back? How do you bounce back when you get cut? How do you bounce back when you get dunked on? How do you bounce back? Any of those things. Anything is when you get injured. How do you bounce back? So you got to be able to bounce back.
I appreciate it. Okay. You know what? You probably in your business, especially 10 years into it, you have a ton of stories of basketball players and what they've gone through. Is there one particular story you could talk about how your service helped someone, helped a ball player? Just one. I know you're a lot.
Yeah, I think again, like you said, it's been a lot of players we've been fortunate enough to help. I'm excited about a couple guys that are over at Morehouse now. That again could have played Division I basketball and had Division I opportunities, but I think they saw the opportunity with being able to go to a Division II program, and be able to play immediately instead of going to a very good Division I program and probably riding the bench for a couple of years and sitting there, handing out towels and watching the game. And now they're being able to go in there and start and play, and then also going to be able to get them a meaningful, degree that's going to carry them a long way. And I think those are the things that are important to me. And then two, where I'm working now and excited about, obviously the talent pool that's coming out of Canada. I'm itching to learn more about the players. I get excited when I see the Canadian teams that are, coming into the States and are battling because that hunger that they play with, and being able to help those players navigate the space. And then I'm really excited about Africa as well, bro. The talent that's coming out of Africa, being able to go there and have the experience of going there and see the talent, but then being able to see a player that I saw or met there and then see them excelling in the States. Man, it's nothing like that.
I remember this kid. Or even worse, you're like, yo.
I remember.
Yep. See?
And then them balling, and then they come in here, and then, because, man, just think about it. That's my experience going from the States to Japan or whatever. Think about coming from Senegal as a high schooler, leaving your family, leaving everything, your way of life, and then coming to the States, and then balling at the highest level of high school basketball. Hey, you got it.
And being impact and an impact player, doing something with it.
You got it.
You're right.
That's huge. So
that's a very huge thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask one more question before I go. Is we talk about going D2 and then going D1 and being, going to a Division I school and probably having sitting out a year or two or redshirt or whatever it may be, and then going to a D2 school and being able to play right away, have access and so on. And I think, how do you, a lot of players, you must have that conversation a lot of times with players who are just trying to make a decision. Like they feel like back in days, if you ain't going D1, you ain't being successful. you didn't make it. But you know what? If you go on D2, it's not a bad thing. You still get the hoop, you still get to play. There's still opportunities there. There's still things you can do with it, but it's not really promoted that way. It's more like under the rug, hush hush type of thing. I mean, and that's so. When you have to talk to players about those options, how does that work? Like, how do you weigh in on helping them making those decisions?
Yeah, I think I try to explain to them like that is that notion that if you go to a Division II school, you're not going to be seen, doesn't apply to that, because of camera phones, because of streaming services. When we were playing, the only games that were being aired were on SportsCenter, were on ESPN, so, and ESPN was only airing the best top Division I games. Now everything's on. I can watch a stream from any game, now just about, because streaming is so easy. And we have so many different devices that doesn't apply anymore, and I think too, if you look at Division II schools and be smart about the school that you go to and you look at their schedule, they're going to play Kentucky. They're going to play Ole Miss. They're going to play Auburn. They're going to play Georgia Tech or Stanford, whoever, Harvard. If you go, when you get that opportunity, go out there. When you get the chance to play them, do what you're supposed to do, and then you're good. You'll get picked up now. It's no such thing as they couldn't find me or they didn't see me. That you weren't doing what you're supposed to be doing now, because everybody, it's just not a thing anymore because of how readily available video is, and again, streaming and all those other options that people have. If they want to see you hoop, they're going to see you, and if you're killing, they're going to know.
Yeah, I believe you. Okay, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Totally, things definitely changed when we were growing up, so that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So what's in the near future for Gerald Cannon? What could we expect from you in the next 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, please, man. Everything, Ballers Bridge. Again, we're excited about being here and being able to really have a home base here in Atlanta. You're going to see a lot of things happening around Ballers Bridge here in Atlanta, but we're going to continue to spread our net. I think that's one thing that people know about myself and about our company, is that we're not afraid to move. We'll pull up to any gym, whether it's Orangeville, shout out to my guys out there, Orangeville, out there in Canada, to Arizona, to the Bay Area, to West Africa, to Europe, to Japan. It doesn't matter. We will pull up, if it's worth us being there. So that's what we're going to do, is to continue to build out here and be able to have a home base for anyone who's in Atlanta or any of the events or the players that are coming through. But then also we're going to be able to, make sure that we're covering all the different pockets and all the different areas where I've been able to be and see that, man, there's so much talent out there. So that's what we're doing. It's easy to keep up with us on all of our accounts. We're everywhere, just at Ballers Bridge. And please, man, reach out. Anybody wants some advice or want to just chop it up, this is what we do around the clock, man. There's nothing else. It's what we do. So please reach out.
Basketball, like my boy says, basketball never sleeps. My boy, shout out to my boy Chissy out there, stuff like that.
Keep the main thing the main thing. That's what we do, man. It's all day.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna hit you up with a couple of quick hitters, then I'm gonna close out a few things. But let's hear. I'm gonna use some like quick hitters to end this whole thing. We'll just do 3 to make it cool.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. The saddest song you ever heard play.
The saddest song. What's my dude? What's that 21 Savage song where he got his heart broke?
Oh shoot.
Man, I can't pull it right now.
Yo, I'm trying to remember it right
Ball
now.
Without You. It's like Ball Without You. Now I'm gonna Ball Without You.
Yeah.
21 got hurt. 21 got hurt, man.
He's like, he say, yo, I'm gonna go in the corner and write this one.
I got a ball without you, man. You hurt me. I got a ball without you.
Oh god. Yo, I like NBA, so let's just talk. Like 2021, 2022 prediction. Who do you think? At least give me at least finals. We'll ask who's gonna win, but give the 2 top teams in the finals. Who do you think?
The finals, definitely the Dubs. Warriors on one side.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what the Nets. The Nets got KD, man. It's hard to bet against KD.
It's hard.
I'm gonna go Warriors, Nets, and I'm gonna go Warriors in 6.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah, the number 2.
Yeah, no, listen. I think Warriors. I looked at Warriors this year. I'm watching like they're just too many weapons, too many pieces. I'm like, even the dip right now with Clay. I'm like, it's Clay. They're just adjusting.
And how they play the game too, man. Their ball movement is just stupid.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then when they want to play defense, oh Jesus!
They lock up, and they don't even have their whole team right now. Still before All-Star weekend, so they're gonna be good.
They're gonna be good. All right. Last question. You can play 2-on-2 with anyone. Who would be your teammate, and who's the 2 players you want to play against? So you got to choose any person you want as your teammate, and who are the 2 people you want to go against.
Man, RIP my dog Kobe, man. It would have been cold all day, to match up with. Brian, again, Brian. But KD's a shooter, man. So I'm gonna go KD.
Okay.
Me and the boy Durant, and then I need to pick somebody. Sorry, because I want to win. Maybe, let's say like Kenny Smith.
Really?
Kenny Smith and Chuck. I'm gonna say Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley.
Yeah, hold on.
Chuck look a little slow right now, so I'm gonna say.
You're not even saying, yo, I'll take him to prime. You're saying, I'll take him right now.
Yeah, no, right now, present day, TNT Chuck. I want me and KD against Chuck and Kenny Smith.
Yo, that's hilarious. Honestly.
No, not their prime. No, definitely.
Oh man. And you know what? You still got bragging rights. Yo, you know who I beat? I beat Kenny Smith and I beat Charles Barkley.
Yeah, fact.
Don't ask when, but I did it.
I beat. Don't matter when. I beat him. Don't matter when. Don't matter who I had with me. I won.
I like that one. Oh, that's an original. I like that. And, yo, if Steve was here, he'd be dying right now. That's an original.
That's what I'm running with.
Well, we're about to close up. Before we close up, is there any shout outs, anything you want to say? Where we can find you? Because Ballers Bridge is big, it's growing. A lot of people don't know about it, but I think it's catching on, especially because you're here in Canada. So any shout outs you want to do, please go ahead. This is your point. This is your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Just everybody. I just want to say thank you, everybody who's followed us, everyone who supported us. If you're listening to this, just thank you. For those who don't know or might not know who Ballers Bridge is, man, we're authentic. We're round the clock. We're sports. We athletes first. So please, you know, learn more about what we're doing. Reach out to us. The line is always open. Follow us on all of our platforms. And just lock in with us, man. That's all I can say. And again, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep building. We have a lot of things in the works that we're excited about, and that time is coming.
Beautiful, beautiful. To everyone who's watching this, is a big shout out once again, Gerald Cannon, CEO of Ballers Bridge. It was a pleasure having you. What you bring, what you do to the game, we really appreciate it. I like that who you're focusing with. You're giving opportunity for guys who just didn't have opportunity, and you're making them more aware, educating our young men. And you know, you do women too, right? That's right. You do girls too, right?
Absolutely, bro.
Okay,
Hooper,
see, look,
real hooper,
young men,
not
young
one
women.
of those. Real hooper, bro. Stop
Yeah,
disrespecting women's sports, man. Girls, women hoop, bro.
yes, it's true. It's true. So you know, so right there, young men, young women. You know, if you're not feeling noticed, you got to hit up, go to Ballers Bridge, link up, find more information, get yourself out there, get your profile out there. There's other opportunities. There's not just one directional. There's other things you can do. And you know, Gerald Cannon, as you heard right now, he definitely got your back. He's talking from experience, which I love the most to share to you guys and get us going. So once again, thank you, Gerald, for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.